Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about where you should travel to or relocate to next. So if you're planning a trip, if you're wanting to move and you want to know what area would benefit you, what kind of vibe or location would be the best match for your energy, this is a great reading to watch. Today we have a selection of crystals, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your next relationship, and there's one coming up very soon, possibly already posted by the time this video goes up, about when you will reach your success or achieve your dreams. But there are so many readings to go through. Like I said, over 100 exclusive readings for Patreon. And then you also get to be the first to watch all my YouTube videos, and you get to watch them way early. So if that sounds good to you, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, then you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, channeling, a combination, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. That's about all I have to say. So if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the King of Swords, the High Priest, aka the Hierophant, the Ace of Wands, the Six of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Eight of Wands. So with the King of Swords and the High Priest leading off the reading, I feel like this is going to be a very intellectual city. It's going to be a city that probably has access to a lot of cultural resources like art galleries, museums, little cafes, maybe different types of restaurants from like different cultures or something, maybe very old historical buildings. And I feel like it's going to be a very intellectually active place for you. You know, if this is a vacation, it doesn't feel like the kind of vacation where you're just laying out by the beach all day or laying by the pool and just chilling all day. It feels like this is the kind of vacation where you would be walking around learning, maybe going out to museums or going to a historical location and learning a lot about that. I feel like wherever this is, it's very walkable. It's probably a city. That's what I'm getting, because I feel like it's very intellectually active. So I feel like it's a place that maybe has a lot of like smart people, maybe has a lot of people who are there to learn or grow as well. So I could definitely see this being a big city if you're tuning into it for like a where do I move or where should I live. I feel like this is probably a big city. And it may be a place also that has a very strong spiritual energy to it as well, with the High Priest, the Hierophant, and the High Priestess card coming out. This is probably a place that has maybe access to some old spiritual buildings or a lot of spiritual energy around it, so you can grow spiritually. Maybe it has access to like a lot of tarot or crystal shops, or there's a lot of psychics who live there, or there's a lot of energy vortexes. It could be a place like Bali that has like old temples, or there's a very spiritual energy to the island. Or it could be a place like a city in Europe that has a lot of old cathedrals. And you can like go to get communion or something, or you can go sit in the mass and listen to it, or church bells ringing all the time. But I feel like there is a spiritual growth component to this, or even access to like yoga studios, places where you can go to kind of get your spiritual fix, or like I said, crystal shops, that kind of a thing. I feel like this is a place that should be very walkable, because I am seeing someone walking down the street kind of lost in thought, thinking a lot. I feel like this place, wherever it is, it's very intellectually inspiring to you. Like you feel like you learn a lot here. You feel like you grow a lot here. If you're thinking of moving here, you're not going to be the same person when you leave as the person you were when you arrived. You're going to be going through a lot of growth and a lot of inner knowledge. And it may be a place that's even a little bit challenging for you. Like you may feel like, ooh, I have to step it up, or I have to walk really fast with this Eight of Wands. Like this could be a place where people are very ambitious and a lot of them are on their grind. A lot of them are, going after a goal. And I feel like that's also very inspiring to you. Like this kind of energy, there's a lot of energy in this place. It doesn't feel to me very chill. It doesn't feel like, oh, we're living out in the countryside and we retired, or, there's not a lot of people around. It feels like there are a lot of people around, and that's like a constant source of inspiration and growth for you. I feel like you are very inspired by this place. Like when you wake up in the morning, you're kind of like excited to see what's going on. And again, I feel like there's also a very strong historical component. So it could be an older city, an old place, like maybe a city from Europe, one of the major cities in Europe or in Asia, that has, hundreds or thousands of years of growth and development, and old buildings and that kind of a thing, and like an old culture that you can learn from. It may not be in the like new world, like America or something, or Canada. It may be kind of like older culturally, or there's a lot of old cultural resources there somehow. If it is in the US, it may be a place that is an older city like New York or Philadelphia or Washington, D.C., that's been around for a really long time, or even like Savannah. But, I feel like there's definitely going to be that historical component. Even some place like Los Angeles that has, kind of newer buildings, but they're still like sometimes 100 years old, and there's still that older energy in some places. But I feel like there's like a very strong historical component here for you. For some of you guys, this could even be traveling to like visit home in some way with the Six of Cups, or it could just be a very family friendly place. So even if you are going to a city, it may be a place that has a lot of access for children, or there's a little park where your kids can play at. I feel like with that Six of Cups, like this energy, this trip is inspiring you to dream and to really kind of go back into your deeper inner self. Like it's almost like a younger version of yourself, or a less closed off, disciplined version, and kind of that more open. Like I feel like there's a lot of creative expansion that wants to happen during this trip. And it may feel like this place has a lot of young people, or there's a lot of access to kind of like young people adjacent activities. Like I said, there may be nightclubs, there may be like young, cool, artistic cafes, or places that are kind of like hipster vibes, or just very like avant-garde, trendy. Again, I feel like a lot of this is about putting you out of your comfort zone, making you grow, making you kind of push your own boundaries, and try to step outside of like what you're used to, your comfort zone. Like, so if you usually have a morning routine and you kind of like to take your time, this could be a place where like you have to wake up early and go get your coffee, and you're walking around and you're kind of out and about and actually absorbing the energy of the day. You're not just like closed off in your house away from everything. You're actually out there experiencing, enjoying, learning, kind of going outside your comfort zone. Like I'm even seeing someone getting lost in the city and actually ending up really enjoying that and being like, oh, I saw this and I actually saw that and it was so cool. Like I walked into this random store and this happened, or I got into conversation with this person and that happened. So I feel like this is about like pushing your boundaries and really being open energetically to learning, to knowledge, and to something new. Let me get into these cards for you, pile number 1. So where should pile 1 travel to next or relocate? Where should pile 1 travel to next or relocate? Okay, so this could be a place that gets pretty cold. So it may not be a place not super sunny and tropical. Sorry guys, I just had to stop and blow my nose quickly. I'm a little congested and still a little sick, but as I was saying, this could be a place that has 4 seasons or gets a lot of snow. So definitely could be, like I said, a city in Europe that gets a lot of snow or is very like wintry, just a place that has a very strong winter season. Maybe it does get dark early, maybe it gets dark at 4 p.m. So it could be a city in like Germany, Denmark, the UK, Scotland, Ireland, England. It could be a place in I don't know, Holland, anywhere that I feel like is kind of Northern Europe more so. And like I said, um, gets a very strong Norway, wherever like that, gets a very strong winter season, and you may have to bundle up for the cold. And I feel like it could also be a place in Asia, but again, more so a place that has strong seasons. So Japan or Korea, where you're going to be feeling that cold, not like a very tropical place or a place that just is warm year round or something like that. Um, and I feel like you're going to really enjoy the fashion in this place. There's also an energy around you being inspired by the fashion, maybe even like the winter fashion, like being like, oh, wow, that's such a creative way to dress. Or that's such a creative way to bundle up from the cold. Or like, wow, that's so cool that you're going out even in this weather or something like that. I feel like it's very inspiring to you, again, intellectually, to be around this place. And you're kind of learning from the people there. Like you think the people there are cool in some way. Coming to life. Okay, let's see if we can get some other cards about where pile one should relocate or travel to. Commitment. Okay. Strength. Where should pile one relocate or travel to? Magic prayer. And we also got sacred pool. So there's definitely a water energy to this place. And I've been picking up on that. Like I keep seeing a river. I keep seeing someone walking along a river. And just kind of like being able to meditate that way, or being able to really get lost in their thoughts that way. But I feel like this river could be significant, could be a river running through the city or something like that. It could be a place that has a lot of rivers or a lot of canals, like, I don't know, Hamburg, Germany, or there's a major river, the Sumida River, going through Tokyo. Like any place that you can just walk along a river and just get lost in thought and think. I feel like you're going to be doing a lot of walking in general, and it's just going to be a major way for you to process your feelings. I feel like this is almost like a creatively inspiring trip or a creatively inspiring location. You know how some authors will say like, oh, I had writer's block, so I took this trip somewhere, or I went to this place and I learned all about it, and then I got so inspired to write the book. Or I live in a city and part of my morning routine is I walk to go get a croissant or something like that. I feel like there is that kind of vibe. Like you're in your head a lot, you're thinking a lot, you're processing a lot, and you're also growing a lot. Like this is a place that's kind of meant to challenge you. It's not meant to just be easy breezy, wake up every day, going to the beach and laying out, or going to just be at home and chilling all the time. I feel like this is meant to take you out of your comfort zone. I feel like this is meant to challenge you. You're meant to be here and learn and kind of push yourself a little bit. And it's also a place where you're meant to be busy with coming to life. You're supposed to kind of have a really productive life here, or just have a lot on your plate. Maybe like get a friend group, and next thing you know, you're kind of busy with that, and they're calling you up and being like, hey, this is happening, or like it's a random Tuesday but the club is open and we're going out, or we're going to get dinner here. And I feel like you're very, like, you have this flurry of activity. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not just this stagnant energy or just this predictable routine. Like you're always kind of being challenged. You're always having to hustle. You may have to like walk fast, like I said, with this Eight of Wands. I feel like this place also either has mountains or skyscrapers in some way. So there may be very tall buildings, or there could be just mountains around there as well. And that could be a significant part of kind of the topography of the area. I also feel like this place, again, probably is freaking amazing in summer. They probably have 4 seasons, and it's probably a place that in the summertime, everything just comes to life. So it's almost like there is that coldness of winter and the harshness of winter, but then also it's kind of balanced by the complete profusion and happiness and joy people are feeling in the springtime, and like the smell of that. I feel like a lot of this is, yeah, kind of teaching you to be more present in your life and not like putting it off anymore, not like okay, I'll do that tomorrow, but like learning to do it now, or learning to be productive, or learning to challenge yourself. It's almost like this place is giving me a Capricornian energy of just taking on a challenge and facing it head on and not being afraid and not being scared, or even Aries energy and just being busy all the time. But yeah, let's get into these cards for pile one. So where is pile one meant to travel or relocate to next? Let's see, where is pile one meant to travel to or relocate to next? So we got wondrous universe, walk in beauty. Okay. Breaking trail, a breakthrough is at hand. Uncovering treasure, beneath the surface lies great bounty. Transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. And first light, beginning a new cycle. So you can see here in the background, there's a big depiction of nature. And again, we have what appears to be the four seasons literally shown. So you have winter, you kind of have spring, maybe that's summer, and then fall. So there is really this depiction that the four seasons are important for you wherever this place is. I feel like it's probably not just a tropical location or a place that has every season looking the same, like a desert location or anything like that. I feel like it's definitely going to be a place where you feel that transition from winter to spring, from Pisces season to Aries season, or from summer to fall. Like you're going to feel that strongly and it's going to be a part of your life. I also really feel like with this uncovering treasure card, again, this is probably a fashion forward or avant-garde place. There could be a lot of wealthy people that live in this city. It could be a hustler type city, like you have to be on your game. There's a lot of people waking up early. There's a lot of people working high paying jobs. There's a lot of people who are ambitious. And there could be a lot of people who have like nice things, designer clothing. They put a lot of effort into their fashion. They put a lot of effort into their appearance. They try to look their best. They have big goals, big dreams. It could also be a place that has a historical connection to luxury in some way. So, you know, maybe even if they don't have a royal family anymore, they used to, and you can go to like a museum and see the crown jewels, or maybe they do have a royal family, or they have a imperial palace, or they have something where you can kind of go and be like, wow, this is amazing, like Versailles, outside of Paris. You know, I feel like there's an energy here where you're very inspired to step up your game. It's almost like you're inspired to expand. You're inspired to not stay in your comfort zone. And sometimes I think, you know, of course, totally nothing wrong with it. And this is just pile one, and I'm sure we'll get other answers for the rest of the piles. But like if you're really trying to grow and expand, you kind of have to challenge yourself with that Saturnian way. So it might feel more comfortable to be in your comfort zone, like out in the country, chilling, just like you have your land, you don't have to worry about neighbors, but that's not necessarily where we grow. And I feel like you guys are really going to be pushing yourselves. I feel like you're really going to be inspired. You're going to want to step up your game. You may decide to change your appearance in some way by living here or traveling here, or you may be inspired to change your aesthetic and the way you dress yourself. You may be like, you know what, I don't really like my personal style, or I want to start dressing more this way, or I want to put more effort into my skincare. This could be a city that has a lot of beautiful people, or a lot of people that are kind of health focused on looking good, focused on, again, achieving their dreams. They may have a cool aesthetic. They may have a cool fashion or sense of style. So I feel like you're definitely pushing yourself. We even got this walk in beauty energy. And I feel like that's another thing is this is teaching you to really, be better. You know, it's almost like you've been wearing the same ratty coat for years, and it's like, oh, you know what? It's time for me to go to the store and find a really cute coat and find a cute matching scarf and hat, and like I'm gonna actually look amazing now when I go out walking, or I'm not gonna just wear my ratty beat up sneakers. I'm gonna put on some heels, you know, and it's like you're learning to level up, you're learning to expand through this trip or through this location. Yeah, let's get into some of these cards for pile number one. Where should pile one relocate to or travel to next, Spirit? Where should pile one relocate or travel to next? Okay, so we got sensitivity and strength. So there may be a forest nearby. I'm seeing, like, to me, this looks like this anvil is located inside a forest. So there could be a forest nearby, trees that are very important to this location. I feel like there's also a spiritually charged energy in this place. It's definitely giving me like Western European, Northwest European vibes a little bit. I could see definitely Russia as well. I could also see, like I said, cities in Asia that are like very old and have seasons, have strong forests, like Tokyo, or maybe even Kyoto, or Seoul or something. It just feels like a big, big city, you know. Let's see what this card is. But I feel like they definitely have forests. Oh, wow. This looks exactly like those cathedrals that I'm seeing in my mind that are very distinctive to Northwest Europe. So like the old cathedrals in like Cologne, or the old cathedrals, you know, wherever, in France, in Germany, in England, those old, ancient, big, huge cathedrals. I feel like that is a vibe here. And again, it doesn't even necessarily have to be cathedrals, but it could be like museums like that, or even a place in the US that has a lot of beautiful, kind of ornate buildings, like Washington, D.C., or maybe even someplace like Boston or New York, but where the cities is kind of beautiful to look at. Like, even when you're walking around, you're inspired. You're seeing places that have a history to them, and you're wondering about like who walked here before, who lived here before. You're not just seeing like an old fast food place, or kind of boring, ugly buildings. It feels like there was a lot of effort put into the design of this place, and it still is very beautiful. It still is very inspiring just to be around. There's a sense of beauty everywhere you go, and a sense of history. That's very big to this place. That's very important to this. Let's see, where should pile one travel to or relocate to next? We have teacher, learning a new path. And this one is kinship, community, your group. So definitely connecting with other people is going to be very important to this, especially if this is a place you are relocating to. But even if you're traveling, it may be a place that has other like-minded people around your same age. Like I said, you know, another place that comes to mind, although it doesn't really fit the seasons element or the winter element, but is Bali, and how when you go there, there's like lots of spiritual people. There's a lot of people, or an island like maybe, I don't know, Koh Phangan in Thailand, where there's a spiritual component. Maybe there's a lot of vegan places, or a lot of like yoga places, or a lot of places where you can go if you want to see a shaman or a guru or a healer or tarot card readers that may live on the island, and like that's part of their practice. I'm not saying it has to be that though. Again, to me, the seasons are being very emphasized, but I could see if this is a super spiritual place like Bali, like Koh Phangan, or some of those other islands, then yeah, this could be the kind of place for you. Even a major city in Southeast Asia like Kuala Lumpur or Bangkok, it just feels very walkable to me. And again, it feels seasonal. So I'm leaning more towards the cities in Northwest Europe. I'm leaning more towards the cities in Northern Asia, like any major city in maybe China, Japan, Korea, that have those strong seasonal component to it, where you're definitely going to get cold in the winter. But I do feel like this is about growing and learning. So any place where you can really expand your consciousness, any place where you can really learn to level up, any place where you can learn to find like-minded people. I feel like another element of this is finding your community, finding your tribe, and learning to be kind of more immersed in life, learning not to stay in your room, or learning not to stay in your apartment, but really learning to get out there. And I think that's one of the benefits of cities, is they kind of sometimes force you to like, oh, well, let me just go walk to the grocery store, because you can't drive, you may not have your car, so you end up being out and about and kind of forced into the world, and forced to interact, and forced to talk to people, and forced to kind of toughen up in some ways and be more open in other ways. And I feel like that's a big component in this. It's like realizing how much the world has to offer, or realizing also how good your daily life can be. This could be about, again, living in a place where you have a daily set routine. You're going to wake up, you're going to get your morning latte or your morning espresso espresso, whatever. You're maybe talking to people, maybe you're buying flowers from the local little floral display, whatever. But I feel like, it's not just something where you're ordering everything off Amazon, or you're going to the same grocery store and you're just driving there and it's kind of boring. I feel like you're really kind of challenging yourself and you're out there in the world. Let's get into some astro dice for you. Pile number 1. Let's see what astrological energies want to come through. So we have Leo, okay. Then we have the 7th house, aka Libra, and we have Jupiter. So great. This makes a lot of sense to me. Let's start off with Jupiter, I guess. So Jupiter is all about spirituality. Jupiter is also about mental expansion in general. It rules the 9th house of higher learning and education. So like college, that kind of a thing. This could be a place that has a lot of really respected or old colleges, or there could be a lot of college students there. It could be a place that you're just feeling like you're learning every day. And it may be a bit of a challenge at first. Like you might have to learn the layout of the subway, or you may have to learn the different neighborhoods, or it may be also, like I said, Jupiter is about other cultures, travel. So this could be a place that has a lot of different cultures or a lot of different restaurants from all over the world. You can go get Italian food or Japanese food, or you can get Indian food or Korean food or Bangladeshi food, or any kind of food you want, Algerian food, whatever you could even dream up, Peruvian food, this place has it. And it's all about expansion. It's all about meeting different kinds of people from different kinds of backgrounds and kind of getting outside your comfort zone or what you know. With the 7th house as well, I feel like there's that heavy emphasis on beauty, and also Venus, or Libra is Venus in an air sign. So it's Venus when it comes to intellect, it comes to like poetry and the written word and kind of connecting with people intellectually. So I feel like, again, there's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of physical beauty in this place. The way people adorn themselves is probably something they take seriously. They're probably not just schlubbing around in like sweatpants or wearing, whatever, this ratty old dress. It's probably a place where people are very intentional with what they wear, and they may have an aesthetic that really inspires you. You may find yourself changing, growing, and being like, you know what, I want to dress this way, or I really like how that girl was wearing that, and I want to try to get that for myself, or whatever. I feel like there's a lot of growth that happens with your aesthetic through this connection. And again, being in an air sign, a lot of intellectual learning as well. Then we also have Leo energy. Leo rules the 5th house of creative hobbies and any kind of like creative subject. So this may be a place with a ton of cultural opportunities. It may be a place that has theaters and an opera and a philharmonic and lots of cool coffee shops where artists hang out, or art galleries or art studios. This could be a place that has like recording studios, and all kinds of creative types live here. And it also can be a place where you're inspired to be active and to be invigorated with that Leo sun energy, where you're inspired to just live every day to the fullest and be your truest, fullest expression of yourself. I feel like you're going to see people really living authentically in this city, and it's going to be something that inspires you to do the same. Like, you know what, let's be honest about who I am, or let me embrace this part of myself, or why have I been holding myself back from that? So I feel like you're really going to kind of step into your own through this. It's going to challenge you, but in a really positive way. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 1. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about your next relationship, and the next one coming up is all about what is it about? Oh yeah, when you're going to achieve success. So that's coming very soon, maybe already posted by the time you watch this. But yeah, if you want to join, there's so much content over there. Like I said, over 100 readings, and then you also get to be the first to watch all my YouTube videos. They always go up over there first. If that sounds good to you, then head to my Patreon. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. Also, if you'd like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, channeling, astrology, a combination, whether you would like it to be pre-recorded or live one-on-one, you get to really customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Nine of Cups, the Prince of Pentacles, aka the Knight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, the Lord, aka the Emperor, Two of Swords, and the Prince or Knight of Cups. So I feel like this is a place where you can have a lot of work-life balance. We have the Two of Pentacles coming through. So this could be a place where you kind of work hard, play hard. There could be two lanes here where you can kind of relax and take it easy, or you can go out and have a lot of fun, or you can really put pedal to the metal and just like focus on your career and go, go, go. Like I almost feel like it's a place that probably has a good balance between like an ambitious business sector, career life, and then also where there's a going out scene or there's a opportunity to do some chilling, you know, to do some relaxation. I am also seeing this emphasis. I've been seeing places that are kind of located next to the ocean. And actually, now that I notice it, it's also in the back of this picture. So this could be a place located by the sea or the ocean. I'm actually seeing places highlighted because to me, this also kind of looks like Spanish moss a little bit in the background. So it could be a place like Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, someplace that kind of has that balance where, yeah, there's a city and you can get a good job and you can earn some good money, but then you can also maybe go out to the beach or go to a crawfish boil or go have a fun social time out at a nightclub or something. I feel like this is a place where you're really going to be encouraged to find balance and to kind of find things to do and be active, but also where you can not feel like you have to work and have to struggle. Like I feel like there's an easier vibe here. It may even have to do with the weather because I feel like this could be a warmer weather type of place. Or just a place that maybe has an easier cost of living. Like maybe it's not as expensive as a major city. Maybe it's a place that, you know, has some of those resources, has like walkable cities, cute cafes, whatever, but it's also a place that may be slightly more affordable than if you lived in like New York or San Francisco or London or Paris or whatever. So I could even see this being a place like, I don't know, Bangkok, where there's a very bustling, very like high achieving financial sector to it and you can get a really good job, whatever, but there's also like great cultural opportunities and you can go out to a rooftop bar or you can go kind of take a quick trip to the ocean, which isn't too far away. So I feel like this is a place that really allows you to do both. Even a place that may have, I know this is weird to say, but I'm seeing like someone getting a massage or engaging in a lot of self-care. So wherever it is, it's definitely the kind of place where I feel like you are going to be pampered or you're going to have the opportunity to be pampered. This could definitely be a trip or a vacation to a place that has kind of like even like aesthetic traveling, like if you went to like Seoul or went to Korea and you got some like beauty treatments done or something like that. Or if you traveled to somewhere else in Thailand and got like a Thai massage, which they're kind of famous for, you know? So maybe going to southern Thailand and like really relaxing. I feel like there's an element here of like pampering, looking after yourself, taking care of yourself. But it also is coupled with a little bit of ambition and a little bit of work. So it doesn't feel like too far in one direction, just pure relaxation. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this may be a relocation reading, and it could be a place, like I said, where you're able to get a good job, you're able to earn some money, and it's part of your daily routine. It's not like you're just hanging out, chilling all the time, but you're also really able to chill. You're not like on overdrive. You're not working super hard just to make rent. You're not struggling. I feel like this is a place with a good balance of that. Like you have the job, you have the financial opportunities, and maybe your rent isn't super low, but it's also not super high. It's not stressing you out. So I feel like, yeah, this is probably a place that's like slightly walkable, and you're able to really develop, I feel like, a good friend group. With the Nine of Cups, again, you're supposed to be kind of fulfilled here. You're not supposed to be just struggling, working really hard. It's not necessarily a Saturnian place where you have to like push yourself and like really struggle and grit and work it out, you know? It's not one of those places where I feel like you're being called to like push yourself as hard as you can. I feel like you're actually being called to really have some balance and do some self-care. So this could also be a place that has a strong emphasis on self-care. So like a city like maybe Los Angeles, where there's a lot of people going around drinking green juices, going to yoga, going to Pilates. There's a lot of people that are like also big into fitness and hiking Runyon Canyon and that kind of a thing. But then there's also people who are ambitious at the same time and going to their high paying jobs and working in the industry, whatever. So it doesn't have to be Los Angeles. I'm trying to think of other cities like that. Maybe even a place like, I don't know, Paris, where, you know, there's, of course, people have jobs there, obviously. But it's not necessarily a place where you're going to be expected to work until like midnight and just like push yourself so hard and, you know, be at your job all the time. And you're expected to kind of like, maybe you can have a glass of wine at lunch if you want. Maybe you can go check out early if you're not feeling well, and you can go to a sidewalk cafe if you want. And maybe you can kind of balance that. So it's not just about 100% work or success or productivity. I feel like this is a place where you're really being called to kind of do both. Or this could be a trip or a vacation to a place that, like I said, offers you that balance. It's not 100% relaxation. It's not, I'm just going to like this resort and I'm just going to have massages and just lay by the sand and just drink and just chill and sleep in the room. It's going to be a place where maybe you, you know, you have a nice lunch at the, or breakfast at the resort, but then you're out walking, you're learning about history, or you're exploring historical sites, or you're kind of going different places. Maybe it's not like just a beautiful resort on some island that is uninhabited and no one else lives there. Maybe it's a resort or a hotel that's in a city, but it's not an overwhelming city. It's not like a Manhattan. It's not a city where you're going to walk outside and boom, you're just, you know, in the thick of it and there's so much energy flowing around you. I feel like this is a place that has a lot more balance, and you're kind of able to, you could even maybe see yourself living there. And I am seeing an emphasis on places that maybe have more moderate, this isn't coming through super strong, but I do feel like this is maybe a place that has more moderate temperatures. Or even a city like Dallas, Texas, where like the cost of living isn't as high as other major cities. So you're still gonna have to work, you're still gonna be productive, but there's also like really cute cafes to go out in. There's a social scene. So, you know, it's not just like working so hard and you go home and you hate your life, nor is it like, okay, we're partying all the time, we're just having so much fun. I also feel like this could be a great city, or there's an emphasis here around you guys dating or meeting people. And there's also possibly an emphasis on like creative expression, being creative, going to creative events, going to things that inspire you, going to like art galleries or photography exhibits or something like that, with that Prince of Cups coming through. And definitely an emphasis on like having fun, flirting, having a good time. Or if this is a romantic trip you're taking with like your partner, just going to a place that maybe has that vibe. Like maybe not just a utilitarian hotel that's just all white inside and, you know, or like very beige and every room looks the same. Maybe it's kind of a whimsical hotel that has like the pink room or really cute wallpaper, or like a really aesthetic cafe when you walk in. You know what I mean? I feel like this is a place where there's a lot of beauty, and it's kind of like making your life beautiful. So it's not just about like, did you get that work done? It's about like, how was it? How did it look? There's more of a Venus energy here. So let me get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 2, where should pile 2 relocate or travel to next? Magical map shifter. Okay. Flying. Okay. By the way, this card is reminding me a little bit of like a desert. And like I said, I am getting a little bit of a warmer vibe from this card than from this pile, than from pile 2. So this is kind of reminding me of like a place like Palm Springs, or if you go out to like Joshua Tree in California, or even like maybe Sedona, Arizona, or I've heard things about Scottsdale, Arizona, where there's kind of like this community. It's a city and it's nice, but there's a lot of cute restaurants. There's a lot of cute cafes. There's a lot of nice things to do. Yeah, like Palm Springs, I think, is such a fun city. Okay. Where should pile 2 relocate or travel to next? Stuck in the mud. Coming apart. Okay. Let's get a couple more cards. Talisman. rescue, and wishing well. So I keep getting this kind of vibe of like a temperate climate, where there's just not super intense seasons. I don't feel like this is going to be a place where you're going to have like bitter cold and you're going to have to like really bundle up, and it's just going to be, wearing your scarf, wearing your hat, wearing your heavy coat. I feel like this is maybe a place that like does have seasons, but it's a little bit easier or gentler, or maybe doesn't have seasons at all and is just like a desert climate, tropical climate. I feel like there's a lot of focus here on like resting your nervous system, or some of you guys learning to have more balance with that. If you've been in places where you felt like you had to just hustle and push yourself so much, and you felt like you had to, constantly be on your game, constantly be doing your absolute best, and you couldn't kind of rest or take a break. I feel like this is the kind of place where you're going to be able to just relax, take a step back, and kind of focus also as well on your interests, your hobbies. This could be a place that has like an active sporting league, or has a lot of young people, and some of them are involved in playing kickball, or some of them are involved in doing some kind of like day drinking events, or like a color race or a color run, or whatever those things are. But things where like you can get involved with your community. I feel like this is a very social area, if I'm being honest as well. Like I feel like it's a place that has like a nightlife scene, or a lot of young people, or a lot of people that go out and socialize. And there's just like that highly sociable, like you can talk to people, you can meet new people, you can put yourself out there and like meet someone in a cafe and they might invite you out. It doesn't feel like a very insular place. It feels like there's a lot of people kind of young, ambitious, not overly ambitious, but like they're very open, and they might talk to you or invite you out somewhere. I also feel like this could be a place that has good malls. Like I think Asia has a lot of really great, really beautiful malls. So this could be some place that has nice shopping opportunities, nice malls, nice places to go, cultural resources, maybe a lot of, like I said, cute cafes, not just like your standard run-of-the-mill regular schmegular cafe, or not just like, oh, there's only 2 restaurants in this town. But I feel like they probably have a lot of resources, a lot of different options. Like you could go to this cafe and it has this theme. You could spend the day doing this. You could go to, maybe they have like a cat cafe or a puppy cafe or something like that. I feel like you're able to like kind of bop around and try this out, and there's maybe always like a new place opening. There's maybe always a new like restaurant concept coming out, and I could see this being like a place where you can be very sociable and really like enjoy getting to know people, really enjoy the social scene here. Sorry guys, I had to quickly blow my nose because I'm still pretty congested from being sick. But yeah, I could see this place also, we have a waterfall over here. So this could be a place that has some water around, maybe a waterfall, maybe being by the beach. It could be a place where, like I said, I feel like there's also maybe some cultural resources or a community. Like it's bringing to my mind certain places in southern Thailand, like Krabi or Koh Samui, where there's kind of like a community, or there's lots of people to talk to, or there's lots of people, or maybe a city like Mexico City, where there's lots of young people, or there's lots of different cafes, and you can maybe travel to see like a waterfall, or you can go hiking. There could be a very outdoorsy element to this, and I feel like maybe even being in the outdoors is a part of the appeal here. Maybe being active. It feels like there's a lot of active people, and I feel like that's kind of part of the culture of this area. It's like, oh, let's travel to this waterfall, or let's go hiking on this mountain, or let me invite you here. Even a place like Costa Rica that has a lot of people there who are traveling, learning, growing. I feel like there is an outdoorsy element. So if this is a vacation you're thinking of going on, it could be a place that has amazing hikes. It could be a place that's fairly warm or humid, like a rainforest, that kind of a thing. And you could have access to an ocean or a beach. You could be hiking or rock climbing. But I feel like you're kind of being pushed to like explore and and really like be a little bit active on this vacation. Like I said, it's not just about being inside. I feel like there's a big balance to that. Like you might get a massage, but then you might go on a big hike after. You might be weightlifting or doing Muay Thai or something, and then afterwards you go have a drink by the beach, you know? So there is that kind of push-pull happening. It's not too far in either direction, one or the other. It's kind of like both. So there's a huge balance aspect. And we got the Two of Swords, we got the Two of Pentacles. Twos represent balance in tarot. So I do feel like you're kind of not veering too far in one direction or another. And this could be a place with a lot of green or rolling hills, a lot of trees around. As well. Yeah, there's definitely that emphasis on like places that kind of look like Southeast Asia to me, even with this stuck in the mud card. Of course, there's lots of elephants in, I think, India, I think Thailand. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so you guys could be heading to those kinds of places for sure. Let's get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 2. So where is pile number 2 being called to relocate or travel to next? Okay, angels of the 7 chakras, truth, power, connection. And I love that card because, you know, the thing about the chakras is you're not supposed to like focus too far on one or the other. No, when I started my spiritual journey, I was like fully focusing on the upper chakras, the crown chakra, third eye chakra, that kind of a thing. And I would be told all the time, like, your lower chakras are out of balance. And I really hated that. I was like, why do I have to focus on like my base chakra? That's so boring. Or rude or whatever, like sacral, like shouldn't I be focusing on the high spiritual concepts? But that's the thing about the chakras, they're supposed to be balanced, and that's what I'm feeling highlighted here. This is about an overall very rounded vibe for you. It could also be a place with a lot of spiritual destinations, like I said, Koh Bali, Costa Rica, places that have a history of kind of like very intense spirituality, or maybe Sedona, Arizona with the vortexes, places where you can really harness that. Maybe a city like LA where you can go and you can see a tarot reader, you can go and see a psychic, and that's kind of built into the culture more so than in other places. I feel like there is that spiritual component, and this is about not veering too far in one direction or the other. This isn't about, oh my God, I stayed up working until, 1 a.m. or I didn't work at all and I just slept all day. It's about, I worked hard and then I went out to a nice dinner, and then I went and I saw some friends, or I worked out and then I went to work, or then I chilled and I slept a little after I worked out. Like, it's really a balance coming through. So where is the pile 2 supposed to relocate or travel to next? Ooh, Goddess of Dreams. What a beautiful card. I don't know if I've ever pulled this before. Wow, vision, intuition, receptivity. And this one says, Archangel Phanuel, hope, optimism, new beginnings. And where should pile 2 travel to or relocate to next, Spirit? This one says, letting go of urgency, surrender, freedom from time constraints. Prosperity, abundant success. I love this beautiful location in the background, and it definitely does look to me like that Spanish moss that I was seeing in the background. So again, I could see cities in the American South being highlighted. Charleston, Savannah, cities in Florida, maybe like West Palm Beach or Miami or Tampa, anywhere, any of those big cities in Florida, especially if they have that Spanish moss. I feel like that's really a highlighted thing. And kind of like that balance you see in places like Florida, where they're not necessarily getting super strong winters. So a lot of people are still going to be working out outside in January. A lot of people are still going to be wearing their yoga sets when it's February or when it's December, and it's not going to be too extreme in either direction. And I also feel like, again, there's that emphasis on kind of relaxing more and not being a city that I feel like there's a lot of hustle and bustle. I feel like this is a very balanced energy. This could even be if you're considering moving out into the suburbs. So if you're like, well, I've lived in a city, but I don't know, I was thinking of buying a home out in the suburbs, I definitely feel like this could be that, especially if it's like a cute suburb that has has like a little downtown area with some cafes and some restaurants you can go to and stuff. It feels like you're really being called to kind of be able to rest, be able to get some good sleep. You're not necessarily being called to live in an apartment where like your neighbor's making so much noise next to you and horns are honking all the time and blah, blah, blah. It feels like, you know, this is a place where I can pause, rest. I feel like sleep is also an emphasis here, and doing all kinds of self-care, taking care of yourself, looking after yourself, maybe letting your nervous system rest a little bit and pause a little bit. Maybe like recovering, maybe going for hikes, maybe really paying attention to what you eat. This could be a place that has a very strong health culture. Like I was saying, a lot of cities in Southeast Asia will have, you know, very amazing vegan restaurants or health cafes, you know, in like Da Nang or in Koh Phangan or Koh Samui. There's always usually some organic places or some vegan places, vegan spots. And I could see this being a place where you can really embrace that, you know, where you can go get a smoothie in the morning, or you can have a salad for lunch, and you can maybe have some kind of health vibe. So this could be traveling or taking a trip to a place that has like a spa, has maybe like doing a wellness trip or a wellness retreat, or doing a yoga retreat, doing a Pilates trip or something like that. I feel like this is about looking after yourself, taking care of yourself. Also, it could be a place that has really good shopping. So a place that has like resources for fashion forward clothing. I feel like this is, you know, the emphasis is on you not running around and looking like harried and crazy. You know, like if this is a place you're thinking of moving and you're like, yeah, but the rent's going to be so high and I'm going to be struggling. I'm going to have to fight for it. I'm not going to have the money to do my hair. I'm not going to have the money to get my nails in. I'm not going to have blah, 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 blah. I feel like that wouldn't be the place. This is going to be a place where, you know, you're going to be able to relax a little. You're going to be able to pour some energy back into how you look, and make sure you got your sleep in, make sure you're feeling your best. There's really a gentle energy. And like I said, if this is a vacation, it could be a vacation that has an amazing spa inside it, a hotel resort that has an amazing spa inside it, or, you know, where you're able to book nearby a facial. Like I said, it could be almost aesthetic tourism, like going to Seoul and getting some cosmetic procedures done, or getting some facials, or going to Russia or Thailand to get a Russian or Thai massage, you know, or maybe even going to Turkey. I know they also do cosmetic procedures. I just feel like this is a place where you're really being called to look after yourself, take care of yourself, and like put yourself at the top of the list, you know, make sure that you are really pouring your energy back into yourself. Let me get into these cards for you. Pile number 2. Where is pile 2 being called to travel or relocate to next? Let's see. This one is stepping into power. You are strong beyond measure. Okay. Discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. And to me, this definitely looks also like Italy. So if some of you guys have been thinking of traveling to Italy, this could be Italy for sure. This looks like any city in Italy. And I do think Italy is good about that balance. You know, a lot of people may have a little aperitivo at the end of the day. There's not an emphasis on just work, 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 work. It's like you could call out sick if you're not feeling well. So it could be like a European place as well. I feel like probably not a place that has like super crazy winters, although it could be. But there's definitely an emphasis on kind of like work-life balance, going out to the cafe, having a glass of wine, not just hustle, 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 but like more chill, more relaxed. And yeah, so could be a city in Italy, especially a city in like Italy's, or a city in Europe, especially a city in like Italy or Spain, or France or Portugal, where there's more of that chilled vibe and you're able to really balance things out. Blessings are showering your life. Okay, this looks like a place to me with a castle. So again, that European emphasis, since Europe has such amazing castles. Yeah. let's see, this one says vast vistas, expand your horizons. And once again, we're seeing that ocean. We're seeing these beautiful cliffs by the ocean. So I definitely feel like this could be by the ocean. That's why, like I said, it's more to me. I feel like a lot of the places in Europe that are by the ocean, I know a lot of places in Europe have some access to the ocean, but I guess I'm feeling more like a place that is maybe directly on the ocean or has more of a balanced, easier climate, like maybe the south of France, where it still gets a little cold, but it's more temperate than, I don't know, Denmark or something, or Spain or Italy, maybe somewhere close to the water. Answering the call, the time is now. So, yeah, I feel like you are really being called to like I said, take a little bit of a step back, maybe take a little bit of a pause with this trip or with this living place. You're not supposed to just push yourself a million miles an hour. Let's get into some astro dice for you, pile number 2. So this is, okay, we have the nodes, we have the 11th house, aka Aquarius, and then we have Gemini. Okay, so Aquarius, nodes, Gemini. So Aquarius is very different, unique. Also, Aquarius rules the 11th house of large groups of people, friends, and kind of acquaintances. So honestly, what's coming through is I feel like this is going to be a very social place, especially if you live here. There may be a lot of social opportunities to get to know people. There may be a vibrant socializing community. Like I said, cities like, I don't know, Charleston or Savannah or even Dallas, Texas, or LA, where there's maybe a lot of young people, or maybe there's a very strong social culture. It's not just about like, I worked hard and then I went home. A lot of the people are maybe going to happy hour after, or that's a big part of the culture in that city is like, hey, let's socialize, let's talk to people. Maybe people are friendly in this city, or there's a cafe culture. There's like a coffee shop culture where people talk and meet each other. And there's a lot of opportunity to meet new people. Or if you guys are traveling, this could be a trip that gets you talking to other people, like a retreat where you're bonding with people, you're meeting people. I feel like this could be a trip where there is an emphasis on traveling with friends or just meeting new people, talking to people, being around people for sure. Then we have the nodes. So this could be a destiny moment for you guys. And also that could be that reminder to really listen to your intuition, because sometimes if you do feel drawn to a city or a place for no reason, if you're just like, oh, I just feel connected, I'm just fascinated by this place, you could have a past life connection with them, and that could be, you know, very healing for you to kind of check out and like learn about. I also feel like this could connect with some of you guys having heavy south nodes and needing to just relax a little bit more in this lifetime and like take it easy. Like you don't need to push yourself so much. You can just kind of take a little bit of a break, pause, and enjoy a little bit more. Then we have Gemini. Gemini is so curious and loves to learn. Gemini also is about short-term travel, the 3rd house of short-term travel. So for you guys, this could be a place where maybe it's a little bit drivable, or it's walkable, but I feel like you're not going to have to travel super far distances, or again, I feel like there's a lot of balance here. So it could be a city that's drivable, but you're not in your car stuck in traffic all the time. Maybe you can drive somewhere and then walk. Maybe you can walk, but you're not having to like schlep everything everywhere. You know, I feel like this is a place where there's kind of an easy, you get to really choose how you do everything, how you spend your time. You're not forced into one lane or another. And also Gemini is all about learning, all about growing, all about communicating. So I feel like this is a place where you're very inspired as well with like fashion, you're learning from people, and you're learning to look after yourself. So that is what I have for you. Pile 2. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So they always get posted over there first. You get to watch them way earlier. And also, I just posted readings about your next relationship, and the next one going up very soon is about when you will find success. So there are so many titles over there. Those are just the 2 most recent, but new ones go up all the time. If that sounds good to you, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you're looking to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour session, a full hour length session, whether you want to be focused on tarot, astrology, just some channeling, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live. You get to customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile three, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Four of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the High Priestess, the Sun, the Ferals, I'm not sure how to say that, but it is the Temperance card, and the Three of Cups. So I am feeling an emphasis on like sunny, tropical, warm weather type of places. So I wasn't surprised when the Sun card came out, because I feel like this is probably a place that's pretty temperate year round or gets a lot of sun. So maybe a city like Los Angeles, or Palm Springs, somewhere in Arizona, just a place that maybe along the Sun Belt, or maybe a place in like Florida or even the South, like Alabama, Mississippi, or outside of the US. Maybe someplace in South America like Brazil that gets a lot of sun, or in Southeast Asia like Thailand, Bali in Indonesia, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, something like that, where there's a lot of sun, it's warm, maybe you can go to the beach, maybe you can be outdoors year round. It feels like more tropical to me, and it feels a lot warmer. It feels like you're able to maybe wear your warm weather clothes, maybe go to the beach, that kind of a thing. It also could be a place with a lower cost of living, with that Five of Pentacles energy coming out. And it could be a place that's very unconventional as well, where maybe not everyone is doing the same thing. Maybe there's a lot of tolerance for unconventional behavior. So maybe some place like Bangkok, where you can live totally different lives and people are kind of non-judgmental, and you can kind of do lots of different activities and you're not going to get a ton of judgment. Or Los Angeles, where it's like the same, there's lots of different subcultures, there's lots of different people living there, and a lot of people aren't going to care what you're up to. I also feel like this could be a place that has a strong spiritual emphasis on it, with the High Priestess card coming out. So like I said, Sedona, Arizona, Los Angeles, or even places like Bali, where there's a lot of spiritual opportunities. Maybe there's temples, maybe there's psychics, tarot card readers, mediums. But I feel like spirituality is a big focus on this. And another focus for you guys is being able to kind of rest and rejuvenate. If you picked this as a vacation reading, then this is definitely probably a place that's going to have like a resort, and you can get a massage, and you can maybe walk along the beach and like sip out of a coconut and just relax, have like a mango smoothie and just chill. It's not feeling like a place where you're being called upon to learn a lot or to grow or to expand, or like, oh, let me, do all this research about this historical event or something. It feels like a place where you're really being called to like just take it easy, chill, maybe read by the beach, and maybe your biggest decision of the day is like, what am I going to have for dinner? So you just may be relaxing a lot more. Like I said, this could be a place with a lower cost of living because of that, with the Five of Pentacles coming out. If some of you guys have been considering like, wow, I'm paying a lot on rent in the city I live in, I'm always stressed out about money, I'm always stressed out about the cost of living, this could definitely be choosing to move to a place that has a lower cost of living and life isn't so stressful, or you're not so hustle and bustle having to like do everything all the time. It could just be like that more measured, chill, relaxed lifestyle, more of an outdoorsy, athletic lifestyle as well. Maybe a place where you can surf, or a place where you can hike, or like I said, a place where you can go for walks in the middle of December, in the middle of January. So maybe even a city in like Florida where, lots of people are going to be going for walks outdoors. Even in the middle of like December, even in November, they're going to be wearing a pair of shorts, they're going to be getting sun. I feel like sun is important to this place as well. And there feels like there's like a spicy energy as well. Like I feel like there's an opportunity. This could be a city that, I know this is weird to say, but it has an undercurrent of kind of like sexiness and people that, yeah, maybe wear revealing clothing. That just happens when you're in a place that has just warmness year round. Like people aren't going to be bundled up in a jacket when it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit outside. But I do feel like this is a place where maybe there's an emphasis on that. Maybe there's kind of like Miami, how there's South Beach and there's a lot of people that go out, and there's a lot of people that want to meet and want to like go out drinking or go have fun, or like there's a lot of people dating all the time. I feel like there's an energy around that for you, like going out, having fun, enjoying, and maybe flirting a little bit, maybe meeting people, and kind of like a passion to the city. Like I feel like it almost reminds me of this movie Body Heat from like the 80s, where it's set in Florida, and the whole point is like it's kind of this steamy movie, and there's like this passionate affair happening, and like literally them sweating is like a huge plot line in the movie, that they're always sweating. And it kind of adds to that steamy feeling. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what's going to be going on, but this could definitely be one of those trips. Or yeah, if it's a trip, it could be like a romantic trip with your partner. It could be like going to a resort and you're having romantic times with your partner. You guys are like holed up in the hotel room together and just enjoying each other, or you're going out to the beach and laying on the sand and just kind of like having romantic, touchy-feely times. Or it could be if you are moving somewhere, a city that has a very vibrant dating scene, and there's a lot of attractive people. There's a lot of people that look good. There's a lot of people that maybe are fitness inclined, work on their bodies, take care of their health. I could definitely see this being a place that has a vibrant health food scene. Like I was saying, and this is coming through again, this could be like a city in Southeast Asia that has a lot of, or anywhere honestly, that has a lot of like health food places. It's just, I think when you travel around Southeast Asia, there's a lot of health food places a lot of times, or vegan places, or organic places, wherever you are. So if you're in like southern Thailand, there's probably usually going to be always some vegan place. Or if you're in like Da Nang, or Hoi An, or wherever, there's always going to be some option to get like a vegan taco or of some kind of vegan dish. And I feel like this is that kind of energy. Like there's maybe a lot of people who drink like smoothies every day, or drink green juices, or just work on their health, or are taking yoga, or are hiking. I feel like there's a lot of people that care a lot about kind of how they look, and the impression they make on people, and a lot of people who are maybe well groomed or put together, or definitely emphasize their health in some kind of a way. So let me get into these cards and see where pile number 3 is being called to relocate or travel to next. Where is pile number 3 being called to relocate or travel to next? So we got moonlight. So this could be a place that has kind of a 24-hour or a late night system as well, like a late night vibe, like a city that doesn't sleep, so to speak. So like Bangkok, where there's always going to be rooftop bars open, or Miami, where there's nightclubs that stay open pretty late, or there's a really strong kind of after party scene. It could be a place where it's not just your typical 9 to 5. Like I'm from Washington, D.C., and D.C. definitely is a 9 to 5 type city. Most people go to work at 8 a.m. and they come home at 5 p.m., or 6 p.m. And that's kind of the set schedule. And there's not as many like 24-hour nightclubs. There's not really that scene in DC. And this would be a city that I feel like is much more maybe nocturnal, or maybe there's lots of people who live here who have unconventional schedules. That was always something I noticed in LA, was like people would be out and about in the middle of the day. It was so funny. It's like the opposite of DC or East Coast cities, where if you want to like avoid the crowds in DC, you go out in the middle of the day. You go out at like 2 p.m. because everyone's at work. And in LA, it's the total opposite. If you want to avoid the crowds, get up at like 8 a.m. and everyone's asleep, because so many people are like actors or models or whatever, DJs, and they have irregular schedules. So this could be a city like that, where people are not on that conventional route. There may be people who are like digital nomads or expats, or they make their money in like an unconventional way, or they're not beholden to just one set schedule. Maybe they don't have to be in the office, or if you're traveling, this could be also a trip where you really take advantage of like the nightlife. You're going out, you're going to cool restaurants, you're going to cool clubs, you are like going to places where maybe there is a party scene, kind of like Koh Phangan in southern Thailand, how there's like a full moon party. This could be something like that, where it's not necessarily, one thing I've heard about like Australia is that people wake up super early at like 5 a.m. That's what everyone says. Like everyone's up at 5 a.m. And I don't feel like this is a city like that. This could be a nocturnal place, you know, where there's all night parties, or sometimes there's a rave. Like I said, Koh Phangan has like their famous full moon party. So this could be a place like that where you're really kind of not set with just doing things the conventional way. I feel like with the Five of Pentacles, there's definitely that energy of being outside the normal social scene or doing things very differently. And with rock bottom, it could also be a place with a lower cost of living. So yeah, not, if you're thinking of relocating and you have a place in mind that fits this criteria and it costs less, I definitely feel like this could be a yes for that. Magic stream. So there could be an emphasis on water. I'm definitely seeing this as like definitely a lot of beachy places are coming up. Like I mentioned, Koh Phangan, Krabi, even Bangkok, Costa Rica, any place that is Los Angeles, any place that's like by the ocean or by some major body of water, I feel like could definitely fit this bill. And I do feel like if you're thinking of going on vacation, ooh, encouragement, this could be a place in Africa as well with these giraffes. Pretty sure giraffes are only native to Africa. So it definitely could be a sign to visit Africa. And Africa would definitely fit the bill on a lot of these things. If you're traveling, it could be going on like a safari, or if you're thinking of moving to Africa, yeah, I feel like, you know, again, it definitely fits the bill. A lot of sunshine, maybe a lower cost of living for some people. And I feel like, you know, it would probably have a lot of access to different kinds of foods. Maybe if you wanted to eat healthy, you know, I think there's a lot of healthy African cuisines. And ride the wave, more of this ocean energy. And there's a lot of places in Africa by the ocean as well, like Madagascar. So ride the wave. You guys could definitely be called to be by the ocean. I could definitely see this even being picking up sports or routines around like surfing or around being in the ocean in some way. Maybe a place where you can just go for a walk along the water in the morning. Mountain. Okay, so you may also have access to mountains. And again, Southeast Asia comes to mind because they have a lot of mountains as well. Like there's a lot of mountains in Vietnam, there's a lot of mountains in Thailand. And so you got kind of have the beach and the mountains. Hawaii also comes to mind for that, but it doesn't really fit the lower cost of living bill for most people. For 99% of people in the world, Hawaii is not going to be a lower cost of living, I think. But you know, if you can afford that, and for you, you know, maybe if you're coming from like Manhattan, then it may be a lower cost of living. So yeah, that could be confirmation on that. But I just feel like there's almost like there's a really strong work-life balance coming through, and more of an emphasis on life rather than work. So less like hustling and, oh, I got to get this done and I have to go into the office at this time. And, you know, it's less stress about that and more about like enjoying your day, maybe starting your day mindfully. I'm reminded of how in Vietnam, a lot of people wake up early and then they do kind of these, I don't know what to call them, dances or just like morning exercises, I guess. Tai Chi is maybe what it is. I'm not sure exactly. But like basically morning exercises where they're moving their body, you know, and people will stand in groups and like one person will lead and everyone's kind of waving their arms in the air, bending over, touching their toes or doing a squat. And so it's like this group communal exercise. And I think it probably is a great way to start the day. Like just get up 7 a.m. and you're already working out, you're communal, you're feeling that communal energy. So it could be a place like that that just has a lot of access to those kinds of things to do. You know, there's a lot of people engaging in that. There's a lot of people running by the water. There's a lot of people, you know, going in, starting their day with something healthy. So yeah, I feel like, and even places like Vietnam, you know, there's a really, strong emphasis on like eating healthy, and there's a lot of healthy food there, you know. So yeah, it definitely could be a place like that. Let's get into these cards. So where should pile number 3 relocate or travel to next? Where should pile 3 relocate or travel to next? Okay, so we got wandering path, enjoy the journey. Yes, that makes a lot of sense for you guys. Finding sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source. Okay. First light, beginning a new cycle, choosing your path, all is possible, and fogged in, go slow, take time. Another one of these emphasis around the water and around oceans. Another thing I keep seeing in this reading is mountains. So there could be a strong emphasis on mountains. If this is resonating with you more as like, well, I hate the sun, which I can completely relate. I am more of a cold weather person, winter person, more than I am a summer person. So I get it. I don't like too much heat. I'll take the winter over that. I'll take 4 seasons any day. But if you're like, oh, I could never live in somewhere really tropical, really humid, then maybe this could be a place where you're actually by the mountains, but it's like outdoorsy. So maybe like Colorado, but it's super healthy and you're super outdoorsy and you're not just like holed up inside. I also feel like another interpretation of the mountains for me could be like high rises, a skyscraper. And again, this actually kind of fits with the self-care energy that I'm getting around you guys. So I feel like this is about having an easier life. And of course, if you live in like a high rise, you might have access to better amenities. Or if you're thinking of traveling somewhere, this could be booking a hotel that's a high rise, kind of all inclusive. Maybe it has, little store or a restaurant inside or a spa inside. So I'm thinking of a lot of hotels in Bangkok, in certain cities in Vietnam, where they do have those beautiful high rises and you can have a beautiful view, and you can also like order room service, or you can also sleep in really late, or there's a gym inside the building and you're not having to like figure out the gym nearby and let me go get some food from the supermarket. So there could be a place that's like very all inclusive, like a high rise with a beautiful view where you're able to look out, you're able to see pretty far, you're able to have bright open windows, lots of light pouring in, you even got first light. So yeah, I feel like this is a place that you're really being called to like relax and have this a part of your daily routine, like doing yoga, waking up with yoga, kind of being mindful, not being as stressed. And I think that's one of the benefits I love. I think it's all the Aquarius in my chart. I love a high rise. I love like a skyscraper. They're my absolute favorite. So I always think there's something so calming about like being up above a city or up above a view where like you can see what's going on, but you're not quite like down there. You're not having to hear the noise. You can kind of like take it in and feel like you're in the clouds. I don't know. So if that resonates with anyone, this could definitely be confirmation to move into a high rise as well, or a big, tall building. Again, they have a lot of those in Bangkok, in Vietnam. Oh my goodness. Okay, so where should pile number 3 travel to next, or relocate to next? Angels of the 7 chakras, power, truth, connection. So again, that strong emphasis about balancing your health, balancing your spirituality. We got animal totems. Again, to me, I think leopards are, okay, I think they do have them in Southeast Asia as well. They definitely have them in Africa. So I feel like this is another card that could be indicative of somewhere in Africa or Southeast Asia. Of course, we have like the elk, which I don't think is in Africa or Southeast Asia. I think it's a little too warm, but that's just what's coming to my mind. This could be a place that has a lot of animals, kind of like how in Southeast Asia, there's a lot of monkey forests. There's a lot of things you can do to like access an elephant sanctuary or something like that. And there is that really strong kind of connection to wildlife, or even in South America, how there are tons of rainforest, that kind of a thing, with like so much animal life. We have achievement, completion, reward. So again, to me, this looks like a guy who's running a race. So again, that physically active emphasis, that energy around keeping yourself busy. Or if this is a trip or this is a vacation, this could be a place where you are being called to work in your fitness routine or work in a health focus. So maybe doing like a yoga retreat or a Pilates retreat, or doing some kind of health retreat. There's places you can go, like Canyon Ranch, where you will be set on a schedule, like you're doing a morning hike, or you're doing fasting for part of it, or you're kind of resetting your health, or you're eating a special diet that's for your health, or you're doing boxing or Muay Thai. You know, a lot of people go to Thailand to take Muay Thai classes. I feel like this is about like not just we're 100% chilling, but like really feeling how good you can feel in your body if this is a vacation or a trip, using that as an opportunity to explore that. Where is pile number 2 being called to relocate or travel to next? So we got past life guides, karmic lessons, present assistance. So there could also be an emphasis when it comes to this trip on really tapping into history. You know, when you travel to, and I hate to like obsessively talk about Southeast Asia, but I just feel like, you know, there's also a lot of history in Southeast Asia and a lot of that spiritual energy where you can go to temples, you can go to learn about the culture or eat old historical dishes or go to cities like Hoi An, which feel kind of ancient and, you know, a lot older. And again, being in touch with the spirituality from those places, like in Bali, where there's such a heavy spiritual emphasis. So traveling to anywhere like that. And then we got up from the depths, releasing difficulty. And I do feel like this is about releasing difficulty. This is about feeling like, where can I go where life is going to be a little bit easier, or maybe finding a way to like work remote, travel to a place where you're not having to stress as much. It's not as much hard work and it's just easier. It's just kind of flowing. Maybe you're able to get a lot of massages. Maybe the massages are kind of cheap here, or you're able to get some self-care, or you're able to, get some kind of facial, you know, get some kind of relaxing activity, get a tarot reading done, but it feels really good. It feels really gentle and easy. Let's get into some astrology dice. So we got, wow, love it, Neptune, the second house, aka Taurus. Oop. Okay, and then we have Virgo, or excuse me, Scorpio, sorry. So we have Taurus, Pisces, Scorpio energy coming through. So let's start with Taurus. I love Taurus energy. Taurus is all about relaxing, enjoying life, the good things in life. I mean, Tauruses can work hard. Of course, they are an earth sign, but Taurus is about good food, you know, feeling good, to a certain extent, like good sex, good just enjoyment in life overall, like feeling good, touching, tasting, smelling, all the 5 senses really being highlighted and just making the most of life. To me, that's really what Taurus energy is about. It's about, let me enjoy life. Let me live this moment to the fullest, that kind of a thing. Neptune also really has that energy. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. It rolls over Pisces. And so Neptune energy is also not about just working, working, working. It's about kind of like, how much better could my life be? Sorry guys, I have the sniffles. How much better could my life be? How can I actually make the most of this? How can I enjoy this the most? How can I kind of turn this into a fairy tale? And how can life be a little bit easier? Neptune also, of course, is connected highly to the sea and to the ocean. And that's why Pisces is the fish. So again, this is a very strong emphasis around the ocean, swimming, being by the beach in some way. A lot of Pisces feel a deep connection to the sea or the ocean, or they feel recalibrated by being around the sea. So I feel like this could definitely be that emphasis on being in the ocean or being at some kind of a beach somewhere and just really enjoying watching the sunset, having a little coconut to drink, having some alcoholic drinks or whatever, and just kind of chilling, relaxing. This could even be like, if you've been considering going on a spiritual trip, like I know some people do ayahuasca or travel to some place where they offer that. So this could definitely be something like that, because Neptune is also about spiritual growth, transcendence, accessing the astral plane, accessing any spiritual vision. So if you've been thinking about taking a trip down to like the Amazon and doing ayahuasca, or just partaking in the spiritual culture there, you know, this could be a huge part of that as well. Then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is all about, kind of, in my opinion, one of the major themes of Scorpio is purging, getting into your traumas, working through that. So this could be a place, I always think when you're doing heavy spiritual trauma work, like you're already stressed enough. You know, it's hard to do spiritual, deep, heavy trauma work when you're also like worried about, how do I pay the bills, or I have to show up at work at this time, and blah, 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 and you have so much stress. It can be harder to access that kind of place of relax and purging and release. And so I feel like this is going to a place where you're able to really harness your spiritual gifts because you're not as stressed or burdened or freaking out about other things. Also, Scorpio does rule sexuality, and I mentioned that before. I feel like this could be a very sexual place in some ways. This could be a place where people like to party. Like I said, if you go to many cities in southern Thailand, like Koh Phangan during the full moon party, there's a lot of people out there to party and in bikinis and in, you know, swimsuits, and they're looking to meet people. I'm not saying you guys have to, you know, do that. I've never been to a full moon party, but my point is, there could be that energy around this. There could be that kind of sexually charged energy, or like, ooh, I'm surrounded by attractive people, and there's so many opportunities to meet people and talk to people, and like, ooh, this is really fun. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely a sultry, spicy, hot energy around you guys. Literally hot, like a hot weather type of location. Okay, so yeah, that is what I have for you. Pile number 3. I really hope that resonates, guys. If it does, you can head to my Patreon to watch more of my readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and all my YouTube readings get posted over there early. I just posted readings all about your next relationship, as well as one that I'm gonna post that's all about when you're going to reach your goal or reach your dream. So that's a really great one. I may have already posted it depending on when this comes out here on YouTube. But if that sounds good to you, or you want to be the first to get to watch my YouTube videos because they always get posted over there way early, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, just some open channeling, a combination, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your session with me, so it's the perfect reading for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. And yeah, I would love to do a session with you. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm sending you all my love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the 4 of Cups, the 6 of Swords, the 6 of Pentacles, the 2 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Lord, aka the Emperor card. So with the 4 of Cups coming out, to me right away, this is just clearly some kind of forest, some kind of nature is being heavily emphasized. So I could see this being moving out in the country, or going on a trip or a vacation to somewhere where there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of nature, maybe even a kind of lake or something like that. There's a lot of trees throughout this reading. So to me, this is definitely a place that has a lot of forest. I could see this being a place like even renting like a little Airbnb or cottage in the woods, or if you're moving, obviously maybe moving to somewhere that's kind of rural, or just has like a little bit of land where you can have some peace and quiet and be away from neighbors. I feel like there's an energy here around you being really able to focus, rest, relax, get some good sleep, and almost spend time in nature, like meditating, thinking, going on long walks, going on hikes. I'm seeing they just showed me like the Western Peninsula in Washington State, which is like where Twilight is set in Forks, Washington, and they have like Olympia or Olympic National Park. And I feel like there's an energy of places like that where there's just such a peace to that area. There's such a calm. You can just kind of feel like you can get lost in these deep woods, or how like there's old growth forests throughout Europe, in many different places in Europe, and you can just kind of meander through, relax, go for hikes. And I feel like it's really fresh air, beautiful air, like really high air quality, very calm. It smells good. Maybe even a place that has, like I said, a forest and heavy seasons where there's winter, spring, summer, and you can feel that crispness of the air as fall approaches, or you can start to smell the warmth of spring coming on and the flowers blooming. But I feel like there's definitely an emphasis on being out in nature and just being a little bit calmer, just being able to relax a little bit and enjoy life. The 10 of Pentacles is also coming in. So this could also be taking a trip or living in a place that is a little bit luxurious. So it could be a place that is large, or where you have a lot of space, where you have like a really nice kitchen, or where you have a you know, beautiful, like you would get to have a library and a living room, or you get to really decorate it to your favorite taste. You get to really make sure that this is exactly the vibe you want. This is exactly the kind of environment that you enjoy. I feel like this is the kind of place where you are being called to put your mark on it and to really make sure that it's a place that you genuinely love. So this could even be buying a house that's like a fixer upper and renovating it, or buying a house that's like kind of a dream house for you, or a house where you can really like go all out. It's not just like utilitarian, like, oh, I'm living in this apartment and I really don't like it, but I can't afford a new couch or whatever. I'll just stay with this couch. It's about like, I love it. I made it my favorite place. I really enjoy it. This could even be traveling to a place that has a lot of emphasis on those kind of beautiful old spaces, like, you know, a place with castles. So again, Northwestern Europe has a ton of those. And you could find yourself traveling to places where there's a lot of peace, or even places like, I don't know, Kyoto in Japan, where there's like old temples and there's a spiritual component, and there's still those trees, there's still the forests and the mountains and stuff. And there's still that historical, beautiful aspect, even if it's not as ornate. It's more kind of minimalistic in some of those old like ryokens and stuff, but it's still really beautiful. You know, I feel like this is a place where you're really being called to have beauty and to think about and kind of like have some peace, have some time to meditate, have some time to be calm, have some time to maybe do morning yoga and have your coffee in the morning and sip and pause and rest and relax and listen to the nature, listen to natural sounds like bird sounds, that kind of a thing. I actually want to get one more card because I think I kind of didn't pull as many as I got for other piles. So this one is the King of Pentacles. So again, that emphasis, you know, where we see the Pentacles energy is often where we will invest in ourselves, where we're going to make sure that it's the kind of aesthetic we want, that it's the kind of furniture we want. So this could even be a call for some of you guys when it comes to like your living situation, that maybe you don't even need to like live somewhere new or anything, but maybe just make sure the place you're living now is like renovated to your taste. It's a place you actually like. It's a place you enjoy living. It's not just like utilitarian, minimalistic, just like, okay, whatever, this is good enough. But it's really a place where you can like enjoy, relax, and kind of put your mark on it and make it into the kind of place that you really love. Not I'm just living here and I got some old chair that I found on the street and this is my couch from IKEA that's like, you know, I just got it on sale. It's going to be like, I love this. Maybe even furnishing it with places from like an estate sale or from your favorite furniture company, or going all out, or finding old ornate pieces. This could also be traveling to places that are older and ornate. Like I was saying, places in Northwest Europe, you know, like Scotland, how they have like Edinburgh, like someplace where even the city streets are kind of historical and they're beautiful in some way, or many different cities in France, how France does a great job of putting like fountains in the town square and beautiful restaurants and sidewalk cafes and stuff, or Paris where there's that beautiful vibe and like the old architecture and stuff, or Rome where there's these old marble gorgeous buildings. I feel like this is a place where you can kind of get lost and like your imagination can run wild. So definitely two things coming through. One, the emphasis on forest, being out in the country possibly, or if you're going to be in a city, maybe a city that really has an emphasis on beauty. It's not just one of those ugly cities where everything is just made for speed and just for efficiency, but it's really a place where they put thought and effort into making it beautiful, making it have a lovely downtown area and really inspiring you. Maybe it's a place that has a lot of art museums, a lot of cultural opportunities. Maybe they have a farmer's market. Maybe they have a access to different kind of cultural opportunities, outdoor concerts, that kind of a thing. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of growth and personal expansion that can happen in this place as well. Let me get into these cards next. So where is pile number 4? Call to travel or visit next, or relocate to next. So we got Wizard of Awareness. Okay. We've got, this one is Commitment. Okay. One Ring Circus. Magical Map Shifter. stuck in the mud, and let me pull one or two more cards. Where is pile number 4 called to relocate or travel to next? Intention and spark. So I love these last two cards. I feel like they definitely fit the vibe of some of the places I'm seeing. To me, this looks like little flowers growing here and a beautiful forest behind. So it does look very seasonal. It looks like there's a lot going on with nature, this little dragonfly or butterfly. And then over here as well, this just gorgeous little field of flowers with the mountains behind. It definitely could be a place that has mountains and forests and trees. I'm not seeing as much of an emphasis on like water or the ocean, although we do have this Six of Swords, which is making me think of like a lake or some kind of a river. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is going to be a seasonal place. This is going to be a place that does have like a winter, a spring, a summer. And I feel like you're almost going to enjoy having that hibernating period in winter where you get to like put on your coat, stay inside, cook a little bit. Kind of be in your own energy a little bit more. Um, you're not having to be seen all the time. You know how when you live in like a really warm place like Miami, LA, you're constantly kind of having to make sure like, okay, do I look good in this? You know, it's the middle of January, but I still got to go. I still got to be working out. I still got to be eating right. But I feel like that's one of the cool things about living in a seasonal place. You can kind of like hibernate for winter and chill and pause. And I am feeling that pause energy around you guys. Like kind of like some of you guys just want a little bit of a break. You want to get away from things. Maybe you want to get away from people. I'm actually seeing in my mind Umbria and the hills of Umbria, which are super green in Italy, and kind of these beautiful rolling hills they have there, and the forests and the nature and the clearness of the air, just the air quality, and also that emphasis that they have in Italy on like the good life. You know, they have it in France as well, La Dolce Vita though, in Italy, where it's like, okay, we're gonna actually eat really good meals. We're gonna have an aperitivo after work. We're not just gonna be like, oh, I'll just make whatever mac and cheese from the box. It's like, I'm going to really put effort into my food. I'm going to make it taste delicious. I'm going to make sure my day is beautiful. And also that kind of bleeds into the whole culture of Italy. And France has this vibe too of like, okay, you know, we're going to put the fountain in the town square. We're going to make sure it's beautiful. We're going to make sure there's art around and there's like public statues and there's fountains and there's things to see. And it's not just about this really tough utilitarian life. It's about really experiencing the beauty and the joy of life and drinking it all in and kind of pausing a little bit. Like also, I think in those places like France and Italy, there's more of an emphasis on like, yeah, you can call out work if you're sick. You can, you don't have to just like work until midnight and just burn yourself out. It's actually about like, okay, enjoy, give yourself that little bit of a break. So this could even be, even if you're not able to move to Italy or France, this could be about finding also, you know, a different job, even if you're unable to move from the city you're in or you're having to stay in the same general area. This could be finding a different job where you're able to have more work-life balance, or if you're torn between moving to an apartment and one like doesn't have a view and it's really not that great and it's kind of loud and it's not, you know, it's not the best. I feel like this is maybe even spending a little bit more to move to the place with the beautiful location or the beautiful view and where you can pause and where it's quiet. I feel like there's an emphasis here on quiet as well, and just kind of pausing and just kind of getting away from all the craziness and maybe even being very creatively inspired in this place. Again, the beauty of this place could really rub off on you and make you feel more creatively inspired, make you want to do more as well. This could also be a place, because I actually pulled the World card as well for you guys, but I couldn't show it because it has some nudity on the card. But yeah, with the World card, this could also be a place that has a lot of access to other cultural amenities. This could be moving somewhere internationally or traveling somewhere internationally. It could also be a city that has access to all different kinds of food. So if you want like Turkish food or Bangladeshi food, or if you want Peruvian food or Danish food or whatever, any kind of food, you know, you can find a place like that in this city. There's all different kinds of cultures. Maybe it's a melting pot. Maybe there's, you know, different kinds of restaurants, different kinds of cultures and cuisines, languages spoken, and you're able to kind of learn and enjoy. And I do feel like some of you guys, if this is a city, this could be a place that you're able to go to an art museum, able to go to an art gallery, able to walk along and feel inspired. I almost feel like this could be a good city for an introvert. I don't know if some of you guys who picked this pile are introverted, but it's reminding me of like Tokyo, where in Tokyo you don't need to necessarily, talk to someone at a cafe, or if you just want to say a couple words and then get your meal, like that's totally normal. That's fine, even other cities that just allow you to have a lot of anonymity, like Bangkok, where there's just, people are kind of minding their business, or even New York or London, where like there's so many people around that they don't really care. They're not going to put as much focus or energy on you. Because I do feel like there is this kind of anonymous, peaceful vibe that you guys want to kind of embody. So let me get into these cards for you. Pile number 4. So where is pile 4 supposed to travel or relocate to next? So let's see, we got staying focused, hold the course. Interesting. And to me, this definitely looks like the Middle East. I know that's a broad generalization, but it looks like cities in the Middle East with this kind of like turret or roof. So if you've been thinking of moving somewhere in the Middle East, this could be that for sure. This could be, I'm not sure. I don't know as much about the Middle East and the cities there. Maybe a city like Dubai, where there's a lot of high rises. It's probably pretty peaceful and calm, and there are a lot of international expats. I'm not really sure. But yeah, unknown territory, you are exactly where you need to be. Again, I'm seeing and I'm feeling like there's a lot of seasons. I feel like this is a place where you definitely feel that difference between winter, spring, summer. You definitely notice that. And it may be comforting for you to bundle up in the winter, whether you're in Tokyo, whether you're in Northwest Europe, whether you're in the US, like Madison, Wisconsin, or something where it gets cold. I feel like this is a place where you can kind of walk along, walk alone, bundle up, be cozy. I could definitely see, again, this being a place in the countryside, like having a little house in like the Catskills or in upstate New York or in the Berkshires or something, where you are just able to like enjoy, relax, pause. Cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant life force. So this could also be placed near water. I mentioned before, I'm feeling more like a lake rather than like an ocean, but it could be an ocean. It definitely could be, especially an ocean if it's like cold weather. Like I mentioned, the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State, and that is also by the water, like in Twilight, how they have La Push Beach. That is real, that is there. Or the Oregon coast, how it's also like kind of gray and stormy and atmospheric. I love oceans like that. That's my favorite type of ocean. Or by the ocean in like England, or like the southern England, the coast there, where it's not necessarily like a bright and sunny warm coastline. It's more rocky, it's more gray. Or even some of the water around Northwest Europe, like the coastline in France or Germany, or even a city like Hamburg, where there's a lot of canals, there's a lot of rivers going through it, or Copenhagen, or wherever. Lots of different places that kind of fit that bill. Sweden, the coastline in Sweden, or even like I said, Tokyo has like the Sumida River cutting through it, and it's kind of by the water. Same with like Seoul, they have a lot of rivers there. But I do feel like it's a place where you can get cozy and like hole up in a cafe and just kind of like hibernate a little bit. I feel like there's a vibe towards hibernation for some of you guys. Let's see. This one is uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. So this could be an expensive place. Miracles, expect the wondrous to emerge. And again, this emphasis on the Middle East, I feel like it's really highlighted. And as I'm pulling that uncovering treasure, it definitely reminds me of like Dubai or a high-end city. This could be a place that is like a higher cost of living, like Paris, Dubai, not necessarily a place where you're going to be able to save on bills, or where you're going to be able to just kind of not worry about that. This could be a place where you are definitely having to maybe pay a little bit more, but I feel like you're also going to be so creatively inspired, and you're going to be so pleased with the vibe. And it's almost like this is the kind of place that really creatively inspires you. This is the kind of place where you're not just going through life on some kind of daily routine, and not really noticing anything. I feel like this is the kind of place where you wake up in the morning, you go outside, and you just feel so full of ideas. You know, kind of like people will say, you know, a lot of fashion designers, they move to Paris or they move to Milan or they move to Rome because by the things they see on the street, the people they see on the street. It could be people who are very well dressed, people who really put an emphasis on how they dress, how they adorn themselves, how they look. It could be a glamorous city like Milan, where there's a lot of, like I said, glamorous people. There's a lot of people who are putting effort into their appearance. Or like I said, Copenhagen, which is kind of famous for its own style, or the Scandinavian look, you know. So I feel like wherever this is, you're very creatively inspired, and yeah, and maybe a little bit bougie. It may even be one of those places where there's like ornate old buildings, like I said, Edinburgh in Scotland, or London, or maybe somewhere in like the Cotswolds with like a cute little old town, or someplace in like Connecticut with like beautiful little cafes, and it's kind of a small town, and you can live out in the country, but you can also go to like the little organic market nearby, or you can go get a nice meal at the cafe, or like how Martha Stewart lives in Bedford, New York, I think. So some kind of city like that, or the Hamptons. The Hamptons would be a great example too, because it's also by the water, where there's an emphasis on like cultural opportunities. There's an emphasis on really living a nice lifestyle, or Aspen. But there's also that peace and calm and access to nature, and it's not as like hustling and bustling as say New York or like Denver or anything like that. Let me get into these cards. So we want to know about pile number 4 and where pile 4 should relocate or travel to next. Okay. So we got sensitivity and strength, tapping the forces within. And to me, this looks like a forest again. Or it's reminding me, this image is kind of reminding me of like places in Europe during the summer, European summer, how nice it is, and like even fireflies everywhere. Yeah, emotional desert. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a place with trees and seasons and cold, but I do feel like there's definitely access to nature. So if there is that kind of like warm weather vibe, it could be in a desert, it could be like Palm Springs or Dubai. Dubai keeps coming back up, and I feel like you're really being called to work that into, if this is a trip or a vacation, working some nature, some visits to nature, or some calming. I could see this definitely being a trip to a retreat or some kind of spa or some kind of resort of some kind. I'm even seeing a cruise for some of you guys as like your next vacation. Divine presence, the force of love and creation, another lake. There's definitely an emphasis around lakes if you've been thinking about visiting or moving there. Freedom, moving on, letting go. Okay. To me, this looks like these beautiful old like monasteries in Italy or in Europe. And I've stayed at monasteries before, and I honestly think they're the best, just the best energy, the best sleep, the best vibes like ever. And elementals, nature spirits, the 4 elements. This is reminding me how a lot of Northwest European cultures are very connected to the elementals, like leprechauns or fairies or elves. Those are a big part of the folklore and the spirituality in Northwest Europe, the indigenous culture there. So for me, again, that emphasis on Northwest Europe, traveling to places like that, maybe traveling to natural places like Scotland, or like the Highlands of Scotland, or to Ireland and seeing like the rolling hills there, or the cliffs of Dover, or Stonehenge. I feel like wherever this is, there's really that peaceful vibe. There's that coming back to nature, coming back to yourself, and not being as stressed, or like, oh, I have to see this on this trip, or I have to like do this. And it's like taking it easy, relaxing, enjoying a little bit more. Let's get some astro dice for you. Pile number 4. So we got Cancer. We have the 12th house, Pisces. And we have Saturn. Okay, Capricorn. So Cancer, Pisces, Capricorn. Let's start with Cancer, I guess. We have the double water signs. Cancer is all about the home, the fourth house. And I love Stephen Forrest has this great description of Cancer energy as that feeling you get when you're coming home from work and you take off your coat, you take off your work outfit, and you pour yourself a glass of wine, you turn on the TV, and you just get to relax. And that's Cancer energy. Cancer rules the house, it rules your family. So it's a much more chill energy than the sign it opposes, Capricorn. It's much more relaxed, and it's much more about enjoying and the good life and the hearth and the home and cooking. And so if this is a vacation, it could be about renting like an Airbnb or someplace where you have access to a kitchen, someplace where you're able to kind of putter around and cook, and you're not as stressed. You're not as like, okay, I have to tick this off on my list. I have to see this place, that place. It's more like, okay, let me just relax. Let me bake some bread. Let me enjoy the local food. Let me go for a little walk. Let me pause. Let me look after myself. And just a place that really allows you to have those opportunities. Also, Cancer is like the moon. And I always think Cancer also has a connection to kind of good food and taking care of people. So this could be a place that really allows you to have access to good food. Like I've been mentioning Italy, how they have their aperitivos, and you can order like any drink and they'll give you a little side of olives and some flatbread and some cheese or something. And the beauty of that, or places like France where they're not just going to give you some utilitarian meal, but often it's like a pre-fee, like there's this kind of like enjoying life energy. It's like really making the best out of it. And then we have Pisces. Pisces also has that vibe of like doing things well, using your imagination. Pisces is also hidden places like monasteries and convents. So it's really places that allow you to have that sense of peace and that sense of calm, not places that are super busy, not places that are super hustling and bustling and where you're running around, but places that just allow you to kind of pause, breathe, relax, and enjoy. Then we have Saturn energy coming in. Saturn rules Capricorn, the 10th house. Saturn is kind of restriction, and Saturn is also that kind of quiet energy. It's also the mountain goat. So it's kind of about getting away from society and kind of finding those isolated retreat places, not necessarily being with everyone. Even if you're in a city, it could be kind of being quiet, separate away from that, and kind of finding those moments of pause, finding those moments to relax a little bit. I feel like this is for you also doing the work when it comes to Saturn, like doing more of self-care work, looking after yourself, making sure that you're thinking about your life, your goals, and all those things. So I feel like you're going to be doing this on this trip or in this new place you're living at. So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. And you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted readings all about your next relationship, as well as one that I'm going to post that's all about when you're going to reach your goal or reach your dream. So that's a really great one. I may have already posted it depending on when this comes out here on YouTube. But if that sounds good to you, or you want to be the first to get to watch my YouTube videos because they always get posted over there way early, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, just some open channeling, a combination, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your session with me, so it's the perfect reading for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. And yeah, I would love to do a session with you. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm sending you all my love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.